Welcome. My name is Emanuele Francioni, and I am the CEO and founder of Dusk. Since 2018, Dusk's ambition has been to be the catalyst for financial empowerment and economic inclusion. Our vision has always been to create a financial network where institutions could issue their assets inexpensively and users would exert direct control over them. In order to do so, then this vision takes a sheer amount of commitments and a very mature regulatory framework. Tonight, we are going to talk about our 3 core commitments and the regulatory framework that will make all of this possible. Dusk's first commitment is to bring real-world asset to people's wallet under the EU DLT regime. In order to do so, we partner up together with MPEX, a regulated security exchange that owns an MTF license, and a top-tier financial institution that shall remain undisclosed for now. Together, we created a consortium to go after the DLT regime and be among the first applicants for this new regulation. Together with this regulation, we will be able to tokenize assets, real-world assets, on-chain under an MTF and bring secondary market to this kind of assets. Furthermore, I am pleased to disclose tonight that Dusk has been working on a number of different pilots. Some of them they are in progress, and some other they are in the making. We are working together with key organizations like Dusk Network, which recently brought $1 billion of tokenized real estate on-chain, or Cosimo X, a long-standing investor of Dusk Network that has been also the first tokenized funds of Europe. We are also exploring innovative ideas together with Gary Quinn, one of the oldest Dusk Network's advisor, who works together with IPWE to create debt financing instruments collateralized by organization intellectual properties such as patents, and a licensed CSD that is committed to bridge between their own permission network to a permissional compliant network. Dusk is among those. The second commitment that I want to talk to you about is our commitment to compliance. Without compliance, there cannot be real-world adoption. Now, this is another argument, another topic in which the regulators brought final clarity only recently with the EUDI regulatory framework. EUDI stands for European Union Digital Identity, and it is with pleasure that I can unveil, finally, Shelter, our novel technology that together with Citadel brings both self-sovereign digital identity in a privacy-preserved manner, both on classic finance as well as Web3. But we are not stopping there. We also have been investing in OutDID. OutDID is an organization that created a new technology where users can prove their identity using their government-issued passport. With the integration of OutDID, Citadel, and Shelter, we have a full-fledged KYC and digital identity framework that is ready for the EUDI, and it is our commitment to be among the first to be able to implement it. The third commitment is one that is very close to my heart, is our commitment to privacy. That too, like with compliance, is the key to unlock real-world adoption. And I have to say that it is also probably the hardest of our commitment to respect and to follow up upon. And in fact, it is one of these topics, privacy on digital ledgers, where all our competitors, if you will, all our networks fell short. It is incredibly difficult to bring privacy to an open ledger. The reason for this is that it takes enormous investments, it takes academic knowledge, it takes research of years. And we are happy to disclose that our latest paper on elliptic curve cryptography has been accepted in the AICR, the International Association for Cryptographic Research Conference, Crypto 2023. We remain committed to research of the highest quality and the highest level to be able to provide privacy compliance for real-world assets. Now, the maturity of the regulatory framework and our commitment transformed Dusk from a startup into a mature organization. And in order for us to communicate that better, we have been studying a new digital identity that I am very happy to share with you. Dusk, regulated and decentralized finance. You might notice that we have been dropping the network. And the reason for it is that Dusk is an all-encompassing technology. Together with Shelter, we are also going after classic Web 2, classic finance, and we want to integrate it together with Web 3. Our brand is all about reconciliation. It's not about disruption. This is also the reason behind the name Dusk. It is a moment in time during the day in which you cannot exactly see what is going on, but certainly there is a certain degree of transparency. And this degree of transparency, this very balance between privacy and transparency is our approach to compliance, to auditing, and to a lot of different other topics to match regulatory frameworks. Of course, this needs to be represented also in our logo. Our logo right now is exactly that. It is Dusk. You can see that there is a certain movement of our half moon, which the community has been using since the very inception of our network, that is progressing. At the same time, there isn't only darkness and there isn't only the half moon. It is a reconciliation of the two. There is an amount of transparency and there is an amount of privacy. You will find out that the logo is also very minimalistic, and this because we aim to be very simple for users to use and also for developers to develop, because in the end we are developers ourselves. For what concerns our palette, it is also a balance between certain shades of different concealing privacy, if you will, but at the same time there is a tone, there is an accent that in fact is very consistent with the world of business. You know why? Because we aim to bring real-world assets in the real world. And the real world is not only the crypto sandbox, it is basically everything. It is organizations that want to experiment with blockchain. It is financial institutions that want to bring their own assets on chain, and users that want to exert direct control over them, like in DeFi. As the last element of our brand, you will notice a certain style of illustration, which I call geometric perfection. It gives the idea of mathematical precision, and yet is also abstract, because in the end, Dusk is what you make of it. Is a platform for regulated assets, can be a platform for DeFi, can be a platform to mix both of them, can be a platform for experimentation, can be a platform for transparency and privacy at the same time. And so you have it with our three commitments to compliance, to real-world assets, to privacy, with a mature regulatory framework from Europe, like the EUDI, or MiCA, the market in crypto assets, or the DLT regime, for which we will be the first to apply, and together with a rebranding that will give us very clear and very simple way to communicate our vision and our values, then we are getting ready to be future-proof and to launch Dusk as soon as possible. Dusk, regulated and decentralized finance.